Hi everyone, my name is Amy Walgenbach and I am a product marketing manager for Google+. And I'm really excited to be here today to talk to you all about how to grow your audience with Google+. Just one housekeeping note is that this is being recorded, so you don't need to take notes or anything, unless of course you'd like to. So to get a little sense of things, how many of you guys have an app that you're trying to grow? Is that, okay. So, and of those people that have their hands up, how many of you feel like you already have an active presence on Google+? Not that many, okay. So, for those of you that are not raising your hand, you are making a mistake. So it's my goal to convince you all why it's important to have an active presence and to give you some practical advice on how to use the platform to grow your business. So let's get started. How do I turn it on? No, okay. All right, so the agenda is really simple. I'm just gonna go into a little bit of background about Google+, and then spend the bulk of the time talking to you about what you should be doing, and then we'll save some time for questions at the end. So what exactly is Google+? We've been compared to social networks, identity logins, and even at an earlier talk today, I heard someone ask if Google+ was trying to be a blogging platform. So our approach is simple. Google+ is an effort to enhance your Google experience by adding your identity, so we know a little bit more about you, the notion of your relationships, and sharing. So instead of trying to explain to you what makes Google+ so special, I thought I'd start with a video about some of the engagement we've seen over the past year on the platform. Cue the video, sorry.
We're the first ones that are doing it like this. It's history.
I have a new single that I really want to premiere.
Google+, this is Houston.
Because when you're talking to a late-night comedian, the best thing to do is probably get his thoughts on the colonization of other planets.
Touchdown confirmed. Receive on
Wow, Ron should say.
Hey everyone, it's Ellie. I'm going to sign this album right here. So what would you like me to write?
Oh my God.
Can I hug you?
How does it feel to go that fast?
You just gliding on.
What is it that drives you?
I love track and field. Fame, the downfalls. For me, the work is intense, but I want to be a legend.
That's the biggest thing that you can do in life. You have to dream.
Jumper away.
Mr. President, welcome to Google+.
Thanks, everybody.
I couldn't be more excited to bring you into my world.
I'm from Germany.
Chile.
Regards from your brain.
Everybody say hi, that's the whole world.
So people all over the world are using Google+ to connect to people they've never met before, but with whom they share a common interest, a shared passion. Whether it be music, sports, politics, or even space travel, people are forging real relationships and connecting face-to-face on Google+. And this community is large and it continues to grow. What we've seen is over 390 million people are taking social actions across Google. And that's things like +1ing their favorite app in the Google Play Store, or writing a review of their favorite restaurant using their real identity. And on Google+, we've seen this active community be about 190 million 30-day active users in the Google+ stream. These numbers were just released yesterday. And our active users are highly active. They're sharing with friends, joining Hangouts, uploading photos. Simply put, Google+ is huge, and it just continues to grow, so it's not an audience that you can ignore. So now you're probably thinking, okay, this is really impressive, but how do I use this? How do I take advantage of all of this activity? And we've spent a lot of time talking to developers and companies just like you guys, and we've talked to those that are most active on Google Plus and learned. And what we've heard is that Google Plus is enabling better discoverability of your apps. It's creating a new breed of more personal engagement, like getting face-to-face in a Hangout or connecting around common interests. And third, it's helping extend the value of social to your site and apps. So let's take a closer look about each of these, starting with how Google Plus can help you get discovered across Google. And the importance of great content, whether you create it yourself or you partner with a content creator, is critical for your marketing. With an active Google Plus page, Google can help you surface your post content in many ways across Google. And I'm going to show you a couple ways where your content can be discovered. So, and one of the most important times we surface your content is in Google search. So what I'm going to do now is show you the most amazing and groundbreaking way you can double the size of your footprint in Google search. Are you ready? Okay. So in this example, this is SoundCloud's Google Plus page. They're active, they're posting regularly, the page is verified, and they're using Google Plus SignIn to send activities to Google. So let's take a look at what's going on with them in search. Before Google Plus, a search for SoundCloud yielded a bunch of blue links. But thanks to their active Google Plus presence, they have an incredibly more compelling, engaging, and relevant search presence. I mean, it's very visual. Your eye is just drawn towards that right-hand side. And you can see on that right-hand side, there's their profile icon, there's a follow button so that users can add them to their circles directly from search. Below, because they're an active page, real-time content is surfaced, so you can see their most recent post. And also, you can see aggregate and trending activity from users, user activity from within that app. So if you integrate Google Plus Sign-In app activities, user activity from your app can be seen for branded search queries. And these links deep link into your content. So it's pretty, I mean, this is an incredible amount of real estate they're getting because they have an active presence on Google+. And it doesn't cost them any money. They don't need to pay for this. And it's seen to every Google user, not just those that are following them. It's pretty powerful. So this is great when someone is specifically looking for your brand, but what about when someone's looking, searching for a generic non-branded term? So here's a search for a summer cocktail, something I am looking forward to after this talk, and something that you wouldn't normally tend to see, branded content appear. But Martha Stewart, the Food Network, and Marie Claire content shows up because I follow them in Google+. So this is a prime example of how Google+ can drive discovery of some of your best content. And it shapes brand awareness and consideration sets in the process. So if you've ever pondered the value of a follower, this is it. This is your answer. You can reach more people who follow you on Google+ with your content in ways that you couldn't before. So their content wouldn't have appeared for me in the search results if I hadn't been following them in Google+. And I wouldn't have clicked on that link for a margarita or whatever. So your followers will see your content and search across a variety of topics, re-engaging them back to you. So the more followers you have, the more people you have a chance to reach with your content. And another great example of this is seen in search ads. How many of you use AdWords? No? Okay, a couple. So this will be relevant for you guys. So with a Google Plus page, an active page, and with social annotations enabled in AdWords, Google surfaces follower count. And on average, search ads with these annotations perform about 5 to 10% higher. So this means that your search spend gets more efficient and you get more traffic. And not only are social recommendations sending you more traffic, but they're also getting you better, more qualified traffic. They're driving conversions and can ultimately have a significant effect on your bottom line. And the best part is that if you have an enhanced campaign in AdWords enabled already, then you don't need to do this. It's automatic. Pretty cool. And it's not just about getting your content into Google search. It's about getting your content, across all of Google. So here's an example. My friend Christian sent me a post about an app that I should check out. A couple weeks ago, some members of the Google Plus marketing team, we went on a juice cleanse. And right before I.O. was probably not the best time for a juice cleanse, but we made it through. And he recommended this app for me to use if I was tired. And so when I went to the Google Play Store, I saw that over 20 of my friends had +1 that app, creating powerful social proof to download the app. So this example is meant to show that people who follow your brand, they're more likely to share it on Google Plus and +1 it. So having engaged followers helps you get more +1s, which helps you get discovered. And we've even begun to expand this concept to other properties like YouTube. So in this case, the only reason this Ford video shows up in my YouTube feed is because I follow them on Google+. And at a more personalized level, the only reason this Dodge Ram video shows up is because my friend Christian, who I follow on Google+, shared it. So if Ford, Dodge, and Christian hadn't shared these videos via Google+, I never would have found them. The point is, sharing videos in Google+ drives social discoverability in YouTube. So if you have a page and you share video content, the more followers you have, the more opportunity it is for your video content to appear to them. So now that we've heard some ways on how you can get your content to spread across Google+ and Google, let's talk about how you can make this happen. So building your presence starts with a page, and you really want to be posting rich content regularly. As I mentioned before, the more followers you have, the bigger opportunity for people to discover your brand. And of course, in order to get that great effect to increase your imprint in Google search, you want to send app activities via Google Plus SignIn to Google as well. And I want to give you some tips for posting great content because I think it's so important. You want to create a posting schedule to post at least once a day. You can ask questions or share insider content, and plus mention your community so that they feel the love and will reshare your content as well. And don't just share any photos, share exclusive photos. And if you edit your photos in Google+, we can automatically turn them into an animated GIF, which is can really make them pop out as well. And if you don't have the resources to manage your social presence yourself, we work with several social media management companies that can help you do this, that have integrated with our platform. Companies like Hearsay Social or Hootsuite or even our own Wildfire. So Starbucks is one of the most savvy social media companies we can all learn from. If you look at their last few posts, they're getting between 500 to 1,000 +1s and about 50 to 100 comments per post. So I'm going to show you some lessons that we've learned from them, and just copy this. It's a playbook for a successful page. So starting out, one of the things that we've noticed they've done is they've have an animated GIF as their cover photo, which really makes that pop. And their magic formula is simple. They have one attractive and simple photo per post. Sometimes it's a video, but mostly it's a photo. They have like one line of text and maybe a hashtag or two. And the hashtags now appear at the top of your post you create, as well as related hashtags. So they can be an important way for your content to be discovered as well. And they include offers in their post. It's kind of hard to tell from this, but this is an offer, and you feel good about gifting it to your loved ones by resharing it. And you get material value from the post as well. And they have authentic photos and not stock photos. So it looks like they put more thought into it rather than just posting without thinking. And they're asking the community questions. So it really creates that interaction. And they're also they're posting infographics, which can also be super viral. And they have occasion-driven posts. So this is a post from the Kentucky Derby that they did. They've also done some for Mother's Day and other occasions, but it really captures that top-of-mind, feel-good sentiment the audience has. So you guys, one recommendation is to have a posting calendar that mirrors special occasions or topical news events related to your brand and business. So cute and reshareable posts create virality. It's very clever thinking. Your first emotional response is to want to share it. And one of the most effective ways to grow your followers is by adding the Google Plus badge to your site. Hopefully we've all now learned the value of a follower. And it comes in a variety of shapes and sizes, but at its core, it lets people know that you're on Google Plus and follow you and add you to their circles directly. And you should add the badge not just to your website, but to your emails, your blog, any offline campaigns that you're doing, or anything that you have, in-store signage. In this example, Britney Spears plastered it on her homepage of her website. Your page should be part of your business strategy. And you can also advertise if you'd like to also help gain more followers on our GDN or in Google search as well. And what we found is that top publishers who installed the badge grew their audience by 38% on average. That's pretty amazing for such minimal work. The badge is so easy to add. You should do it today. And you really want to give people a reason to come to your page. It's just a more natural way to get more followers is to just drive them to some sort of content or programming that you're doing, like with a Hangout. So it feels more natural to tell them to come, join your page if you have something going on there. Which brings us to our next point of engagement and Hangouts. So now that we've learned, what you should be doing on Google Plus to help get discovered, let's shift to talk about how Google Plus is also enabling you to create deeper and more personal relationships with your users. And because I'm in marketing, and love videos, I just want to show you one more video of how one brand, Cadbury, is using Hangouts on Air to create a more personal engagement with their users. So let me just cue the video.
Our attitude has always been to see what's different about Google Plus to other social networks. The thing that's most different is Hangouts. You can't really do it on any other platform. We've done 3 Hangouts so far. The first one, we created a chocolate version of our Google Plus page. Then we did a second one with Rebecca Adlington, one of the Olympians we're sponsoring and supporting. And we've just kind of met up with one of our chocolate tasters and done an informal kind of discussion on the basics of chocolate. We spent quite a long time with our first Hangout kind of thinking, what will we do, when will we do one? I made it quite complicated in our head, and the reality was it's as easy as having a conversation with someone face to face.
I think it's really cool for a company as big as Cadbury to actually be communicating with customers.
My favourite feature about Hangouts on Air is the ability to kind of have this really close connection with a small group of people, but do that in a way that lets thousands of people see it.
So Rebecca, how many laps do you train in a day?
I do about 7,000 to 8,000 meters a session, and I do 10 sessions a week.
There's something quite powerful about sitting in front of someone, essentially eye to eye, and having a chat. It's a new frontier, and it's something that technology 2 years ago wouldn't have allowed us to do.
I really like dark chocolate with like caramelized orange in it.
Hangouts are like a really amazing way of kind of building that really personal connection with fans. So I would say brands, to give it a try, think about a new way of connecting with your consumers and having a chat with them.
So Cadbury is using Hangouts to take social brand engagement to a more personal level. And some ways that we've seen Hangouts be used for other companies is to debut exclusive content or do a behind-the-scenes look at your company or your office or something. you can also get feedback from users. So we've also seen it used as a customer service channel. And you really want to create those moments that matter to drive deeper and more meaningful relationships with your followers. And another example by Cadbury, to celebrate the fact that they had surpassed 2.5 million followers and to debut a new flavor of their dairy milk chocolate bar, they created a Google Plus event for unveiling their new flavor and sent some of their biggest fans, a sample of the chocolate bar, where in a Hangout they all, unveiled the bar together and tried it for the first time. And it was pretty cool because we saw, friendships form, relationships that, happened where they kept the conversation going even after the Hangout had ended. So it was pretty amazing. And if you're wondering, the flavor was bubbly mint, which I personally have not tried, but from the Hangout looked pretty amazing. So this February, Topshop reinvented its fashion show and simultaneously democratized the thrill of London Fashion Week, something notoriously exclusive. They partnered with us in a groundbreaking, series of inventive online happenings that I really feel was an amazing game changer for fashion. And this was such an exceptional, well-executed campaign. I could go on, but I really just want to focus on two parts that I think you guys will be interested in. The first is the Be the Model component afforded a rare opportunity for fans to get a model's eye view of Fashion Week. There were Hangouts with the top models, and at Topshop's flagship store, fans could enter a special Google Plus booth where they'd try on their favorite look and take a picture, and it would upload it to the Google Plus event page, which really bridged that online and offline gap. And Be the Buyer component saw the launch of a Hangout app where for the first time in fashion history, users could pick and choose their favorite items and share them with their friends in a Hangout. So, Topshop rewarded its best collection of outfits with a fabulously free shopping spree as well. And they promoted this Hangout app exhaustively on their homepage, and there was a leaderboard of the most shared items from the Hangout app. So what they did with this data is that Topshop used it to help its buyers decide what they're going to actually bring to market. So what's really cool about this is that Topshop fans get to influence the buying decision. And what they saw was that there was about 300,000 followers to their page because of this event in the 2 weeks leading up to it. And they had about 300% increase in metrics like +1s and reshares and comments per post. And they had really good engagement in their Hangout app as well. So when we look to the future of social experience online, it's our goal to give you the tools to make any experience more social, personal, and meaningful. So a page lets you talk to your fans, and a community lets your users talk to each other about you. So Google Plus communities are about connecting people and passions. They're a place for individuals, organizations, and businesses to meet and share based on a common interest. And one way we've seen this work is to build a community based on a topic that's related to your brand. So in this case, this is Lowe's community page. They built this Geek Your Home community where users can get together and share tips on how to geek out your pad. And what's great is that Lowe's is part of that conversation. And one of the other ways we've seen communities work is that you can listen to what your customers are saying, both about your brand or topics that are relevant to your business. So you should really create a lasting impression by getting face-to-face with your users in Hangouts. So that's sort of like one of the ways we recommend you to grow your audience with engagement. And then also create a more social branded experience by creating a Hangout app. And then we recommend participating in creating communities as well, which is another great way. And you can also listen to your fans that way and hear what they have to say. So Google Plus can also help you achieve deeper engagement with your users, both on your site and app. So this is where the Google Plus platform comes in. And I'm not going to go too deep into the platform because there's been a lot of sessions about it. I just want to briefly touch on a couple of points here. One example that we launched on Monday is content recommendations for your mobile website. So when you help someone find a great article on your site, you're not only making them happier, you're inspiring deeper engagement and loyalty. So if you have a mobile website, you should add this. And this is an example from Forbes, where visitors to their mobile website can now easily discover other content on Forbes. And this is an example, when you integrate Google Plus Sign-In into your site, there's an authentication dialog box that pops up. And one of the scopes that you can have is with our YouTube API, so that when you sign in to a site, you can also follow their YouTube channel at the same time. So it's kind of connecting your presence, they can follow your page, later on, but when you sign in, it's a great way to get more followers to your YouTube channel as well. One of the most impressive features of Google Plus Sign-In is something we call over-the-air installs. So when a user signs in on the web, they can automatically choose to download your app to their mobile phone without them ever leaving your site or touching their device, which is pretty cool. And interactive posts allow users to bring others they care about into your app. Users can send posts asking people to sign up, write a review, register, buy something, or whatever your app calls for. In this example, it's Seth sent a menu, wants to send a menu to Ardon, and shared it on Google+. And then you see what the share looks like for Ardon in the stream. And you see a view menu button. That's the really powerful piece, is that there's a clickable call to action embedded directly in a Google+ post. So this new call to action allows you to not only share your content to a growing audience, but to also direct users what they should be doing next in your app. Give them a reason to go there and do something. So if it isn't already clear by all of the Google Plus Sign-In talks at I/O, it's important, and it is the way to integrate Google Plus into your apps. And right after this talk, Danny Bernstein is moderating a panel with a bunch of our partners. So if you want to hear directly from partners, you should go to that talk. It's in room 8 after this. And you should go talk to the companies in our sandbox on how they're integrating Google Plus Sign-In. We have a ton of companies there, and perhaps it can spark some ideas for you. So here's really the 3 things you should be doing on Google+. Your presence starts with a page. So creating an active page is really important. And engage with your audience. It's about making a lasting impression with them. If a user participates in a Hangout or joins a community you manage, they can feel more connected to you, and it inspires deeper engagement and loyalty. And this can turn a fan into a brand advocate. And last but not least is Google Plus Sign-In, which is critical to using Google Plus to create more engagement and drive more qualified traffic to your app. So these are the 3 things you should be doing today. So to sum it up, it's about getting discovered across Google, engaging with your audience, and making Google Plus work for you. I said at the beginning it was my goal to try and convince you all why it was important to have a presence on Google+, and I hope I've done that. So if I have, here are some resources for you guys on ways to get started. Thank you very much. And now we can take some questions. So if you have any questions, there's 2 mics right here if you just want to go there. And I have a special guest who might help me out with some questions as well. Mr. Marvin Chow. Yes.
John Blossom, Shore Communications. On the sign-in, it's great because it helps people get to your sites and get engaged more. And you've shown a lot of the tools for brand engagement. But traditional editorial sources may or may not feel limited by the amount of information they get from the sign-in to be able to serve up the right sort of content. What are the sort of strategies that help people use Google Plus to have the right experience for them when they come to visit your site?
Yeah, I think one really important thing that we've seen is, with the mobile content recommendations, is really great for those publishers who are able to see more recommendations for content and share that activity right into their app. Sorry, we're just miking up here. This is Marvin Chow. He's the Global Director of Marketing for Google+, who's here to help me out as well.
Good job.
Thanks. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I don't know if that answered your question. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, hi. I'm Spencer Richardson from FanBridge.
Hi.
The question is about kind of the role and potential mashup between YouTube subscribers and Google Plus followers, because we work with a lot of video creators, both in the brand space, SMB, as well as kind of MCNs, all those guys. And as we convince them about the amazing things that Google Plus brand pages and so forth has to offer, we get the question of, do they have to reinvent kind of their understanding of subscribers within Google?
Yeah, and I think we've done a lot to bridge those two together. You're seeing a lot of activation between YouTube and Google Plus, where now you can have your channel direct it and combine it with your page, so that you really only need one presence on Google if you're a brand, and that's part of, it's the same channel, the same page, so that a user knows where to go to follow you across both of those platforms. I think we have some work to do, but a lot of people have invested time into their YouTube presence, so we know that's also an important channel for people.
Can I add I'll add a little bit. I mean, I think we all see the tremendous opportunity between YouTube and Google Plus, and I think as you've seen from Larry, like this bringing together of Google is a priority longer term, and I think the first phase is this merging of identity. Google Plus is about identity, so if you're company X on YouTube and you're company X on Google Plus, we want to know you're the same person and who you are. Once we can verify that, with the merge, we'll start to mix the graphs. So unintentionally, but if a page is sharing something on Google Plus and they're following you on YouTube or not, we'll have an idea of what type of content to begin to surface and what Amy showed. Now, longer term, you can obviously see that we want to coalesce to one action that we want a user to take as it relates to an entity, whether it's follow or subscribe, and how do those things come together, and we're working that out because YouTube does not have verification, they don't have an idea of identity, it's very hard because some brands have 100 YouTube channels, but they only have one Google Plus page. So we're working through a lot of the complexity of small businesses, app developers, large brands, but we want to get to a point where you as a developer or brand have a single presence across Google that you can do different things with your audience with.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, with that, the search results where you've got your brand up there, is there any way to influence that to kind of, modify what's going to be shown on the search results page?
Well, there are certain things that you could do, like if you have an active page, it surfaces your most recent post. Mm-hmm. So for your branded search query, it'll show what you're posting. So that would be one way. And you can decide what app activities you're writing to Google. So that's the aggregated data that we're using to surface those app activities in Google in the right-hand side of those search results. So there's that way as well. So you can tell Google, send this activity every time someone watches a trailer or buys something. So that's the activity that could potentially be shown. Yeah. We've just started with the with apps in the music or in movie space, but we will be expanding to others.
Right, because right now it shows your logo, your the ability to
your
follow,
name,
to search for you, and then some recent posts, but not maybe posts that I'm especially proud of, or stuff that I think is a better example of the kind of content that we provide.
Yeah, I think, you know, the most recent post, and when you search for an app or a brand, we want to show the most recent activity. I think that's one big thing. The profile photo is your profile photo from Google+. You have some flexibility there. I think we walk that fine line of like you pinning some kind of thing at the top versus what we feel is recent. We encourage to get the most optimal on the recent post. It's every 3 days we think you should post because it's the most relevant. The other just tip is the About section on your Google Plus page is SEO. So the more robust that description about your company, your app is, it discovers more, it fires more, some of that content gets brought in. But we haven't quite, you know, with the advent of interactive posts, I think we are toying with the idea of, well, what could you pin in there when that real estate, and what does it look like on mobile? And so it's something we're talking about, but today there's no way to actually say, hey, I really want to make sure that people get to this. But we definitely see it, you know, with a lot of brands, whether it's an event or a hangout or an app download, that it's something that we've asked for. And I think with the app stuff you've seen, to be able to download apps right there, that's the first step, where our goal is to say, when you search for that query, what is the intent the person wants to take, and are we delivering that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's some big event that's coming up that you're going to be running, it would be great to be able to make people aware that that's the thing that's going to be happening.
Exactly. And with interactive posts, that may be easier based on query data and the type of post. I think this is the thing. This is the next step.
Right.
Yeah, we're really just getting started. So hopefully, yes, in the back.
Hey, Sarah from the Veterans United Network. I have a question about YouTube admin accounts and Hangouts. So as a brand, we hire freelance individuals in order to drive our Hangouts, to produce our Hangouts. That also means you have to give over your username and password to your YouTube account. In the future, might it be possible to consider admin accounts for those individuals who are driving your Hangouts so you don't have to give over the keys to your YouTube account?
So I think
we do have page managers.
We do, and I can follow up with you separately on this. I do believe, and I have to check, if your pages are merged, so if you've merged your Google Plus profile and the account, you're giving them your YouTube admin rights because the upload should happen automatically. So why are you giving them YouTube admin rights?
In order to launch the Hangout on air, you have to give them your YouTube login.
Okay.
Because it streams on YouTube.
I think there should be a better way to do that, because we've seen it. And if I can follow up with you afterwards,
you betcha.
Yes,
Yeah,
let's come on
thanks.
up and I'll try to answer that question.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there it goes.
Hi.
I was wondering if there's any thought to having the possibility of people adding themselves to your circles from a business perspective. Because one of the things that a lot of us like to do is we like to, when we post our content, we know it's not particularly interesting to everybody. Not everything is. Some of it is, but some of it's only interesting to some people. For example, I do legal information online with my business, and we put up case opinions for various courts around the country. Some people are only interested in the cases from their court. It'd be nice if they could add themselves to my circles. We can create a circle for each state, for example, and say California, and say add yourself to my California circles, so that when I post California case content, it goes to you, but you don't have to just get the general bulk feed of everything.
Yeah, we've heard this request.
Yeah, I think
quite a bit.
It's a fantastic question. I think it really opens a broader conversation of what would be social CRM. Is really you want to use Google Plus to how do you build relationships in niche ways across, and we think it's an amazing opportunity. We haven't built the product yet to do that, and I think we're just scratching the surface of this idea of circles and how you share. I think with some of the things with Aspen and SignIn and NFC, you could almost imagine like where if you tap in that you just get automatically added to a circle at an event, or if you took an action on a third-party website, we could do it. So I think it's possible. I think we haven't quite figured out what is the right model that the user would understand and that it was actually useful for the content creator. But I think with a lot of brands and app developers, that idea that you have 10 million followers, but you don't want to send one thing to 10 million people. You do want to say in a particular state, or maybe someone who's purchased a particular thing, you want to send them something specific. So it's something we've been talking actively about. We don't have the answer yet, but we do see that social CRM going down that road one day. So maybe next year at I.O. we'll try to get you something.
Yes, sir, in the back.
Hi, my name is Yusuf. I'm from Animoca. We are a game developer in Hong Kong. So most of the content on Google Plus is around the web and mobile web. But game developers, when they're looking at content, their user base, they basically they want them to be in-app. So, question I have is like growing our followers. It's very easy for us to put a follow button in our game, but currently there's no programmatic way to basically add a follower. And we don't want to throw the gamer out of the game, into the website, into the browser, then he'll never come back again. And the other question is, does Google have policy on incentivized use of social channels? Like, can I say, here, get 5 virtual coins if you follow me, 2 coins if you basically post something about it on the community, Is there any policy around that?
So, to your first question, you're saying that you want people to follow you, add them to your circles?
Like my game will have
directly.
a Google Plus page. Within my game, I want my users to follow the page so I can basically message them of upcoming events, upcoming promotions.
They can, if you have the Google Plus badge, they can add you directly to their circles from your page without them having to leave your game.
I think it's but you're saying from within a native app.
From within
Which I don't think it does. It's a really good question, I think, and I don't think we do it now, but
that.
it's something I think we can definitely look into.
Mobile game developers don't have websites. They typically don't.
Yeah, I think it's a great request, and I think we can definitely look into it with the platform team.
Okay. Now, what about the policy with incentivize use of social channels?
That, I don't think we have a policy against that right now, so I think it's something that is definitely possible, as long as it's using, obviously, the native API calls in the human posting algorithms.
And it's fine. We don't have a policy against it.
Okay.
It is not, it is against, we do. We do have a policy.
Okay. We do, apparently.
Do not do it.
Yeah, so quick thing about incentivization. To incentivize a user to do something that's spammy is generally against our terms. But to do something that's meaningful, like, if we all sign up for this service, we get something out of it, right? Versus sending this to all your friends, so they actually click back to the app. So.
All right, sorry we're out of time. We'll be up here if you have any other questions, though. Thank you.